G'day everyone, Mark Fernandez here, and if this is the first time that you're watching this channel, make sure you subscribe. Basically what we do is we talk about everything to do with four-wheel drives, cars, motorbikes, and basically the way that we mod them. As I'm sure you've seen from the video that I showed you, there was a nice little clip that I shot with one of my dogs, Ginger, and we went out in the morning and shot that very early, and we had to get up really early now that the sun's coming up earlier and summer is well and truly here. As you can see from the little video that I shot this morning with Ginger, she had a great time. She had ran around on the beach and got some really good shots, so I'm really happy with the way that came out. And just kind of got me thinking, what are some of the things that we could be doing, some of the things I could be showing you guys about what I take with me on some of the smaller trips that I do. I don't go away on really big trips at all. I just kind of do, day trips. But having said that, it's always good to be prepared. And I think some of the gear that I have, is pretty valuable. And I'll show you what it looks like. So we kind of share some ideas. So the first thing that we'll talk about is a good chair. So this is a chair I recently picked up. I've only had cheap camp chairs in the past, so this is quite a nice luxury to have. And it folds up very easily, which I can't say the same for a lot of the ones that I was looking at BCF. So this is a really nice one, nothing fancy on it, it's just got a cup holder and that's about it. And a lot of the things that I'm talking about today is basically like, it's not much point doing an individual review on each of these products. It's just a good opportunity for me to just show you some of the things that I have. So with the first thing out of the way, being the camp chair, very important, and these are in no particular order. Is a first aid kit. Not particularly exciting, and it's not a particularly exciting topic either, but a good first aid kit should be part of everyone's travels, whether it's even just driving to work or whether you're just going out on big trips as well. So this is one that I invested in. You can't really go wrong with a lot of these first aid kits. They often have mostly the same stuff in them. However, others are set out a little bit differently. I personally like the way that this one is set out. Has a nice little checklist of the things that you should be replacing if you use them. And this one kind of looks a little bit like this. So each of these has a module for the type of injury, which just satisfies me to no end. So we can just rip out whatever we need on the go and we just put it back when we're done. And you guys know how much I like Velcro from my last couple of videos. So yes, I really enjoy looking at this. And another thing as well is when you get first aid kits, you have to make sure you know what's in them and where everything is. I didn't really like those big boxy first aid kits because you often find yourself rummaging through trying to find, what's on what level, when you pull them out, kind of like a fishing box kind of one, so I don't really like them. These ones, for me, it's all color coded. They all say what they are on the front. For example, we've got bites and stings, and that's got a nice spider on the front, so that's going to be easy just to pull out and treat what you need to. And it's got lots of little things in it, like tick removers and things like that, which being a dog owner, that's kind of an important thing to have. So you have to make sure that you don't only have a first aid kit for yourself, but I carry a first aid kit for my dog, my animals as well. So the next thing that we'll talk about is fire safety. And this here is just, I picked this one up from Bunnings. Doesn't cost much, only costs like 20 bucks or something like that, so not a huge amount. And it comes with a fire blanket and it comes with a dry fire extinguisher, a dry powder, which covers most of the fires that you need. Again, not a particularly exciting topic with first aid kits in that category, but I guess you have to think about what's important. For me, carrying a $20 or $30 small fire extinguisher could potentially save lives and could also potentially save my vehicle if there's a small electrical fire. So, it happens, unfortunately, but a lot of those fires and a lot of those burnt vehicles could be prevented with just a $20 fire extinguisher. So definitely a worthwhile investment. This one also comes with a fire blanket, which obviously is more appropriate for cooking when you're out camping. So that's something as well to consider in that kit, so you get a couple of nice things. Sorry to interrupt the video, guys, but I just wanted to put a little editing note in here that after I shot this video, I went to Wyndon Falls, and on my way back down the Gillies Range,
with a couple of mates, we saw a fire on the side of the road, and it just goes to show you that you don't really need to be really far out bush to have a fire emergency. And if my vehicle or someone else's vehicle actually did catch fire, it is an important thing to have in your kit. So I just wanted to chuck that in there, that even on unassuming road, just coming around a corner, saw a bit of smoke, and sure enough, there was a great big fire burning on the side of the road. So it was quite hot. I could feel the heat coming in through the car, and my car smelt like smoke for the next 3 hours. But it was, just goes to show you that there could be a fire emergency without you really expecting it.
Now, on to the next thing. I'll do an obscure one next. This one is one that a lot of you guys may not have in your kit, and it is it's a dog restraint. So, part of the law says that you must have a dog restraint, and your dog must be restrained in the vehicle, even if they are small, fluffy, and cute. So this one is one that just goes, the seatbelt goes through it and just attaches to Ginger's harness. So not a particularly big buckle either, which is good. Don't want that weighing down on her. So you have to have a few considerations. So you can see in my kit that there are quite a few considerations that I've kind of thought of, or considerations for Ginger when we go on our little trip. So my kit, my setup is going to be a little bit different to yours. The next thing that we'll talk about, I guess, would be I did invest in a recovery kit. Basically, all it's got is just a snatch strap and again, an XTM product. Not really much point reviewing these, but I'll show you guys this stuff now. It's got, I think, 2 D shackles in here, or bow shackles they're called, and they just go through. They just go through your rated recovery points, which I'll be installing on my car very shortly. So although I don't really intend on getting stuck and doing much intense forward driving, the option is always there. And if I've got the rated recovery points, you just never know when you might get stuck and you might need to be pulled out of a certain situation, or pull someone out of a certain situation as well. So I've got the bow shackles there, so there's 2 of them. And there's also a snatch strap in here as well, all nicely rolled up. So that's something that probably won't get much use, but again, part of the kit, and it's going to be living in my car for those trips. Another thing that we'll talk about, and I've done a video on this, it's my air compressor. I've covered some components of it, some aspects of it. And the more I'm using it, the more I'm learning about it. So I will do a review on it at some point. And it's good for the value. Like, I got it for under $100, and it pumps up tires so quickly. It's incredible. However, the tire pressure readout in the line is not, the gauge isn't very accurate. I find that whenever I'm pumping up my tires and that it doesn't, show the correct readout until you actually turn it off. So I think that's a pretty common complaint, but I'll go into that further in my review of it. But basically, it's just an air compressor. You plug it in. So from the factory, it comes with the alligator clips kind of that you put onto your battery terminals. However, I have swapped that with an Anderson plug. I've got an Anderson plug that links up to my battery. That goes to the rear of the vehicle. That's in the tray. And so I can just basically turn on my ute and plug this in, and away I go. So it'll start working straight away once you turn it on. So that's kind of, for me, a worthwhile investment, just getting the Anderson plug and making sure that that's all on there properly, because when I had a look at the alligator clips that was attached with it, or the battery terminal clips, whatever you want to call it, they weren't soldered on very well. Half of the wires weren't making contact, so that was a very worthwhile investment, and good use of my time. So I'm very happy with that, and it pumps really hard now. Probably getting more power, so that's going to always help. So if you want to see a little bit more of that and you don't know how to make Anderson plugs, I'll leave a little card at the top of the video if you want to go ahead and check that out. So the next thing, and I've just recently installed my awning. So I've just got some of my awning pegs, and I'm going to get some new ones because these ones look a little bit thin for what we'll be doing. So an awning will be high on the priority, especially for day trips, because it's nice to set up camp. So that's something as well that that I'm looking forward to, is just setting up the camp chair, setting up the awning, and just having a nice relaxing day. So I've done a couple of mornings so far, which has been really nice. So I'm looking forward to maybe some longer trips and some whole day trips. And guys, that just about covers it. In terms of what I take as well, I take lots of water depending on the trip. If I'm just popping down to the beach, I normally just take a litre of water, just in case it is particularly hot that day. And mostly for Ginger more than me. And you just never know. Sometimes you might get a flat tire, or something might happen where you are stuck for a period of time. And especially if it's in the morning, it gets quite hot here very quickly. So that's something to consider, is I always take water with me depending on the length of the trip. If it's a day trip, then I'll just fill up a 5-litre bottle, and I might take another 2-litre bottle with me as well, just in case. Alrighty guys, I think that just about covers it. Here's the culprit here, Ginger. She's our star in the little clip that I showed at the start of the video. With all the kit that we have here, it's not really a lot. It's kind of like the basics, and it doesn't cost much money, to make sure that we have that sense of security for both myself, for the car, and also for Ginger. Just basic first aid stuff and fire extinguishers and things like that. It's a very small price to pay, and and it really gives us a sense of security in terms of making sure that if we get injured, we can patch ourselves up, or if the vehicle catches fire or something like that, we'll be able to protect our investment, and it's not going to go up in flames. So if you have any ideas about some of the things that I could add to my kit, by all means, I'll probably be adding some tools and making a little toolkit to come along with me as well. Try to get a little bit organized in that respect. And but yeah, if you guys have any ideas, put them in the comments. I'm always interested to know what you guys think, and if you have any suggestions, I'm always willing to take them on board. So that's it from me, Ginger, and the fly that just ran across my face, and I'll see you guys in the next video.